Shabbat Shalom. For this is the day that Yah has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. We enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. We bless our King by saying, Barku et Yahweh. Barku et Yahweh hamevarak. Baruch atah Yahweh hamevarak le'elam vayed. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech ha'alam. Asher bekar benu makol hamayim wenatan la nu ha-Torah. Baruch atah Yahweh notan ha-Torah. To say, blessed be Yahweh. Blessed be Yahweh, the blessed one. Blessed are you, Yahweh, the blessed one for all eternity. Blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, King of the universe, who selected us from all the peoples and gave us your Torah. Blessed are you, Yah, giver of the Torah, to our King and our provider, to the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yisrael. Master, we, your people, come before you again on your set-apart day, asking you to forgive us of our sins and cleanse us of unrighteousness, that our prayers be not hindered this morning. Give ear to our cries, O Master, and turn not a deaf ear to our supplication. Hear us today, O King, for you have enlarged us while we was in distress, and we call upon the only name that can deliver. On the name of Yah do we call upon, Master, for you are our King. We say hallelujah, hallelujah on your set-apart day, Master, the seventh day that you rested, and we are also resting, and we, your people today, are continuing to be in our covenant with you as we come to your door today, Master, just asking you for all things, asking you to continue your mercies, Master, that you fill us with grace, Master, that you keep looking upon us, providing for us. Master, we thank you for our lives, health, and strength. We thank you for food, clothing, and shelter, Master, that you have provided this week. And we thank you for the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that you provide for us, Master, mostly that you took us out of idolatry and you trusted us with your word, for you provided us your Torah. And in it, you say that if a man lives in it, he shall live, Master. And we are trying to do the best that we can do while we are in this exile. We also ask you, O King, that you would forgive our ancestors that wanted to serve other Elohims and be like the nations, and that you have exiled us into the nations, Master, because of their sins, and because they have also taught us. We also bow down to other Elohims, but you, Master, entrusted us with your truth. We thank you, O King. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you, for no one can deliver out of your hands, O King. So we ask that you would speak kind words towards us, that you would continue to speak kind words towards us and not speak evil against us, O King, for we know that your word shall not go out empty and it shall not return to you void. And you said, Master, in your word that you shall not profane your covenant, neither shall you take back that which hath proceeded out of thy lips. So we beg of you, Master, as your servants, we are your people and the sheep of your pasture, O King, that you would speak kind words towards us, that when you think upon us, Master, that you would have good thoughts, and when you look down upon us, that you will look down upon us with a pitiful eye, O King, knowing that we are doing our best to serve you with gladness in our hearts. We ask that you will continue to keep our children as they traverse throughout the highways and byways, Master, and that you will go and move in our favor and go before us and open the doors, Master, for we know that any door that you open, no man can shut. Any door that you shut, no man can open. O King, we ask that your word will continue to live strong in this house that you have provided for us, Master, that we may teach your word. We ask that you would look upon those that would want to be here today, but because maybe there is sickness in their bodies or maybe the distance of travel, that they couldn't be here today. But you know us, Master. You know us collectively, and you know us individually, Master. You know the desires of our hearts. And our desires as your remnant that come before you on your set-apart day, Master, we ask that you would also bless us collectively as Israel, and that you would bless us individually. Oh, forgive us of all of our sins, the ones that we make mistakes, the ones that we forget, for we are feeble, for you made us and you know all about us, O King. Master, and that after your word has gone forth today, Master, that you would keep us as we exit this place, and that you would keep us until we meet here again. This is our prayer.
We're going to read today from the Helium, Psalms 118. And when we get to a place in this particular reading, verse 3, where it says, let the house of Aharon say, speak the name of your house. I'm going to say, let the house of Holman say. You say, let the house of whatever your family is say. Let us read. Give thanks to Yahweh, for he is good, for his grace continues forever. Now let Israel say, his grace continues forever. Let the house of Holman say, his grace continues forever. Now let those who fear Yahweh say, his grace continues forever. For from my being hemmed in, I called on Yah. He answered and gave me more room. With Yahweh on my side, I fear nothing. What can human beings do to me? With Yahweh on my side as my help, I will look with triumph on those who hate me. It is better to take refuge in Yahweh than to trust in human beings. Better to take refuge in Yahweh than to put one's trust in princes. The nations all surround me. In the name of Yahweh, I cut them down. They surround me on every side. In the name of Yahweh, I cut them down. They surround me like bees, but were extinguished as quickly as the fire of thorns. In the name of Yahweh, I cut them down. He pushed me hard to make me fall, but Yahweh helped me. Yah is my strength and my song, and he has become my salvation. The sound of rejoicing and victory is heard in the tents of righteous. Yahweh's right hand struck powerfully. Yahweh's right hand is raised in triumph. Yahweh's right hand struck powerfully. I will not die. No, I will live and proclaim the great deeds of Yah. Yah disciplined me severely, but did not hand me over to death. Open the gates of righteousness for me, and I will enter them. Thank Yah. This is the gate of Yahweh. The righteous can enter it. I am thanking you because you answered me. You became my salvation. The very rock the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. This has come from Yahweh, and in our eyes it is amazing. This is the day that Yahweh has made, a day that for us to rejoice and be glad. Please, Yahweh, save us. Please, Yahweh, rescue us. Blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahweh. We bless you from the house of Yahweh. Yahweh is El, and he gives us light. Join in the pilgrim festival with branches all the way to the horns of the altar. You are Yahweh, and I thank you. You are my El, I exalt you. Give thanks to Yahweh, for he is good, for his grace continues forever. Let us bless the most mighty high, Yahweh. From the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, his name is to be praised. You may be seated. We are surrounded by difficulties on every side. We may be perplexed, but we're not cast down. The Most High is our deliverer. He is our Savior. He is the one who blesses the righteous and confirms wrath upon those that are wicked. The Most High's ways are right, and they are perfect in all their ways, all the ways. Well, today, you're going to be blessed by the young Moray. Brother Trey is going to come today, and he's going to share with you the things that the Most High has laid on his heart to share with the congregation. Let us welcome Brother Trey.
Thank you, all right? Thank you, Pops. Appreciate you. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom. How y'all feeling today? Feeling good, feeling good. All right, right. Oh, yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you. I'm glad you liked the shirt. Shout out to Sister Bernice for it. Thank you. Yeah, so last time I was up here, well, first, let me give thanks to my Father, or say our Father, Yahweh himself. Second, I'd like to give thanks to my angel of peace, my mother, Shalom, my Moray, Moray Holman, head of the house, Moray Appleton, Brother Bickham, Johan, and I also want to include Mother Mary today, too. I didn't want to forget Mother Mary. And thank you all for who are in here at First Tabernacle Fellowship, and also those that are following by the stream. So last time I came here, I went through Haggai. If you guys did not check that tape out, please check out Haggai. That was it's 2 chapters, but it's a powerful 2 chapters in Haggai. So what I'll be going over with you guys today, I'll be going over the first chapter of Zachariah, and then after we get into the first chapter of Zachariah, then we're going to talk about some women's rights today. And we're going to bring up scriptures, and we're going to go through this. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so quick recap on Haggai. Haggai is like a spark for the zeal for Yah. If any of y'all remember what's going on in Haggai, he basically, the Most High gives him the message to spark that zeal with his people to rebuild the Most High's temple. He tells them in there, he says right here in chapter 1 through 4, Yah says, is it time for you to live in your own panel houses while my house lies in ruins? So this is something that we need to keep in mind for us to have a zeal for the Most High's house. Also, Yah expresses in there that Yah is still with us. Where we were out of exile or coming into exile, Yah is with us. And then also, which is good in Haggai, you'll see that the people listen and they begin to rebuild and get to work for the Most High's temple. Okay, and now we're going to start off in Zechariah. We're going to start off in chapter 1 of Zechariah. And we're going to do some reading because that's what we do. All right, let's see here. So, when we go into Zechariah, we're already going to start a little breakdown once we get into sentence 1. It says, in the 8th month of the 2nd year of Darius, the following message came from Yahweh to Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo, the prophet. Now, I want you to pay attention to what the dates that he is saying in here, because if we also go to Haggai, because I don't know if you guys remember, I was hearing that Haggai and Zachariah are contemporaries. That means like they exist in the same timeline. So I want to find some evidence in text where we can prove that point. And one of the points where you can see the connection already, if we go to the first chapter of Haggai, just like we just read in this first chapter of Zechariah, it says, in the 2nd year of Darius the king, the first day of the 6th month. So when you go to Zechariah, it says the 8th month of the 2nd year of Darius. So Haggai, in the beginning of Haggai, he was writing, and it was the 6th month of the 2nd year of Darius. And then when we go over here in the beginning of Zechariah, we have him writing in the 8th month of the 2nd year of Darius. So that's how we can see a connection of them being in the same timeline. Okay, so let's go to verse 2 of Zechariah. It says, Yahweh was extremely angry with your ancestors. Therefore tell them that Yahweh says this, return to me, says Yahweh, and I will return to you. Now, if you pay attention right here, it says Yahweh was extremely angry with your ancestors, and it'll clarify this. You can basically say, of course, that Yah is extremely angry with our rebellious ancestors, because you'll also see that he'll say that the prophets warned them. And who are the prophets? Prophets are also our ancestors, but they are obedient ancestors. And you notice that the Most High says, return to me, and I'll return to you. The Most High did not say, which some of our people may think of, returning to JC or waiting for JC. The Most High said, return to me in my ways, and I will return to you. Okay, and he says, don't be like your ancestors. The earlier prophets, again, the earlier prophets are also your ancestors, proclaimed to them. Yahweh Shabbat says to turn back now from your evil ways and deeds. But they didn't listen or pay attention to me, says Yahweh. And then the Most High goes on, because we're supposed to seek Yahweh in all aspects of our life. So I understand, some people have loved ones that are gone and they missed, and you may want that comfort from them. But Yahweh is saying that you are supposed to seek me, not seeking your ancestors. So whether the rebellious ancestors or the ancestors are right, Yahweh goes on right here in verse 5, and he says, your ancestors, where are they? And the prophets, do they live forever? But my words and my law, which I order my servants and the prophets, overtook your ancestors, didn't they? So that's the key message right there. Then they turned and said, Yahweh has dealt with us according to our ways and deeds, just as he intended to do. So I did a little research in the Hebrew. So when you're reading this verse right here, it says, where it says right here, when it says, then they turned and said, so when I looked up that in the Hebrew, when it says turned, I found the Hebrew word is called shub. And shub means return, turn back, restore, or repent. So when you're reading this and you say that when they turn, it's showing that it's a good thing as they turn back to Yahweh. So I just want to clarify on that part. Okay, and then we're going to get into verse 7 that says, on the 24th day of the 11th month of Shabbat, in the second year of Darius, this message from Yahweh came to Zachariah, the son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo, the prophet. And I'm going to pull something up because I want to, this is going to go through a situation and I want to give a visual for y'all. So if y'all give me a second, I'm going to give y'all a visual as we go through this. Let's make this bigger. Oh, wrong one. This is the one I want bigger. Okay, so we'll be going through this together. It says, okay, so this is Zachariah. And he says, it was night, and I saw there before me a man riding on a russet-colored horse. So we have, okay, so we're going to just, let me put my little thing in here. Yeah, I'm doing little stick figures. Okay, so we got Zach, right? And then we're saying it was night, and I saw a man riding on a russet-colored horse. Okay, so let's put a little land in here. And you have the man, and this is going to be a funny-looking horse, but y'all just work with me. Okay, so that's the man. That's him on the horse. Okay, let's continue. He stood among the myrtle bushes in the valley, and behind him were other horses, russet, chestnut colored, and white. So, okay, so we got 3 more horses. This is, like I said, y'all, don't have me draw something. All right. So I just want y'all to get the visual, because I know visuals help me. So I'm like, hopefully visuals will help y'all too. Okay. Okay, then he said, I asked, it says right here, verse 9, I asked, what are these, my Lord? And the angel speaking with me said to me, so keep in mind, Zachariah has an angel that's with him. So you have Zachariah, you have the angel, you have the man with the bushes, and you have the 3 horses that are behind him. The angel speaking with me said to me, I will show you what these are. The man standing among the myrtles, which is this man right here, the man standing of the myrtles said, these are those whom Yahweh has sent wandering throughout the earth. So as I'm reading this, remember, Zechariah asked the question. This man among the myrtle bushes, obviously he heard it or something, because he's responding to the question that Zechariah had asked. And he said, these are those whom Yahweh has sent to wander throughout the earth. Then they themselves, because remember this man, he got the other 3 with them. So then they are going to give an answer. Then they themselves answered the angel of Yah standing among the myrtles. The angel of Yah is with Zechariah. We have been wandering throughout the earth, and the whole world is quiet and at peace. Now, this part is a little bit interesting to me, because Zechariah and them, they're still trying to get things in the right situation. So I look at it as like say if today one of us got pulled and the angel is showing us something, and then we see these wandering through the earth, and they tell us that the world is quiet and at peace, we would probably be looking like, you know what I mean? Your ears be up, like, hold on, the temple is not all up, like, things is not all good right now. So let's keep that in mind. So we have been wandering throughout the earth, and the whole world is quiet at peace. Okay. Then the angel of Yah, which is right there with Zechariah, said, Yahweh Shabbat, how long will you keep withholding mercy from Jerusalem and the cities of Yehuda? You have been angry with them for the past 70 years. So this kind of helped me, because when we go back and we looked into Haggai, we've seen that they were in Babylon captivity, and eventually they are able to return, because the Persians take over Babylon and allow them to go back to their land. And so we was trying to wonder how long were they in that captivity. So I think this would be a good spot to show that they were in captivity for either 70 years or somewhere around 70 years. Okay, you have been angry with them for the past 70 years. Yahweh replied with kind and comforting words to the angel who was speaking with me. The angel speaking with me said to me, here is what Yahweh Shabbat says. I am extremely jealous on behalf of Jerusalem and Zion, and to the same degree, I am extremely angry with the nations that are so self-satisfied, because I was only a little angry at Jerusalem and Zion, but they made the suffering worse. Therefore, Yahweh Shabbat says, I will return to Jerusalem with merciful deeds. My house will be rebuilt there, says Yahweh Shavuot. A measuring line will be stretched out over Jerusalem. In addition, proclaim that Yahweh Shavuot says, my cities will again overflow with prosperity. Yahweh will again comfort Zion, and he will again make Jerusalem the city of choice. So a little note that I noticed while I was reading on this end part right here. When you go to 13, and it says right here, Yahweh replied with kind and comforting words to the angel who was speaking with me. 14, the angel speaking with me then said to me, here is what Yahweh says. So that made me think. So I'm like, you know, we are trying to get everything right, and we're trying to learn our Hebrew and stuff. I'm wondering, now, like I said, this is just a question. I'm wondering, did Yahweh speak a Hebrew language that Zachariah couldn't fully comprehend it in a way? And the only reason why I asked that is because he says, the angel speaking with me then said to me, here is what Yahweh says. But when we just read before, Yahweh had already spoke. So why wasn't Zachariah himself able to clearly hear what was being said? The angel had to tell Zachariah what Yahweh said. Let's read it again. 14. The angel speaking with me then said to me, here is what Yahweh Shavuot says. And then the angel is explaining to him what Yahweh said. So that is just, that's a little note right there. That's something that I just kept in mind when I was reading it and go over the studies. Okay, let me go back to my slide. All right. And if you guys don't know, this is what the myrtle trees look like that the horse riders and them when we're standing in the field. I just brought some pictures to show y'all what the trees look like. Okay, so for Zechariah chapter 1, we can see that Haggai and Zechariah are contemporaries. We can see that they existed in this same timeline. Verse 3, again, Yahweh was angry with our ancestors, again, our rebellious ancestors. Yah says, return to me, and I will return to you. So again, when Yah is saying that, of course, we know here at First Tabernacle Fellowship, and a lot of us know, Most High says, returning to my ways and returning to my Torah. Verse 16, Yah will return with merciful deeds, and Yah's cities will again overflow with prosperity. And I also want to let you guys know that the book of Zechariah, Revelations, has copied a lot of what is going on in Zechariah. So if y'all don't know who's getting new to this word, the Most High's everlasting covenant, which some call the Old Testament, a lot of that stuff in there, the so-called New Testament, New Trastament, whatever you want to call it, is picking off of what Yah says, and they twist a lot of things. So let's just go to Revelation 6 real quick, just so y'all can get a little familiar of seeing the similarities of Zechariah. Okay, so in Revelation 6, verse 1, it says, next, I watched as the Lamb broke the first of the 7 seals. So I did a video on this. So when I'm reading it in the New Testament, when they're talking about this Lamb, they're talking about JC. Right. They're talking about a man. And it's a sin to add and subtract to the Most High's word. When the Most High is talking about a lamb for a sacrifice, he's talking about a lamb. Man, a lamb. He's not talking about no man, lamb, or whatever they got going on in this side of the book, okay? So next, I watched as the Lamb broke the first of the 7 seals. And I heard one of the 4 living beings saying in the thundering voice, "Go." I looked, and there in front of me was a white horse. Its rider had a bow, and it was given a crown, and he rode off as a conqueror to conquer. When he broke the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd living being say, "Go." Another horse went out, a red one, and its rider was given the power to take peace away from the earth and make people slaughter each other. He was given a great sword. When he broke the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd living being say, "Go." I looked, and there in front of me was a black horse, and its rider held in his hand a pair of scales. Then I heard the sound like a voice from among the 4 living beings say, 2 pounds of wheat for a day's wages, 6 pounds of barley for the same price. But don't damage the oil or the wine. When he broke the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th living being say, "Go." I looked, and there in front of me was a pallid, sick-looking horse. Its rider's name was Death, and Sheol followed behind them. They were given authority to kill 1/4 of the world by war, by famine, by plague, and with the wild animals of the earth. So again, this is, it's a violation to add and subtract to what the Most High said. I just want to show y'all, when you go in Zachariah and you're reading about these horses, I want you to see the similarity when you go to Revelations, and they're basically picking off of Zachariah, talking about these 4 horses, but they're changing it up a little bit. So I just wanted y'all to get that and see that. All right. Now, we're going to be talking about protecting our women, because I have talked to many different Hebrews and many people that study the scriptures, and there are some things that they get a little confused with when we're talking about the women's and there's rights in the scriptures. So we're going to go over some of these spots, and we're going to read it ourselves so we can get a deeper understanding, because that's what we do. Every time we study and every time we come here, our goal is to get a better and better understanding every time. So we're going to start off, and we're going to go to Exodus, and we're going to be in chapter 22 for this first part, and it's going to be at 15. Okay, so it says, 15, it says, "If a man subdues a virgin who is not engaged to be married and sleeps with her, he must pay the bride price for her to be his wife. But if her father refuses to give him to her, he must pay a sum equivalent to the bride price for virgins." So this is saying, again, if we read it and we take it slow, this saying if a man subdues a virgin. So, whether he put some candles on for her, put some music, did a nice little date or a little something for her, you know what I mean? It's not force, he's subduing. So I just wanted to get y'all clear on what's going on in here. So if he subdues this virgin, then he is to make her his wife. Okay, now let's go to Deuteronomy, and we're going to go to 22. Okay, let's see here. All right. So we're going to go to Deuteronomy 22, and we can go to verse 13. And we're going to pay attention in here, because this is going to be examples in here that can show us that we have to focus on the content of text. And this will also show a little bit how the English can get somebody tripped up a little bit. I'm just going to explain it right in here as I read this. Okay. So it says, if a man marries a woman has sexual relations with her, and then, having come to dislike her, brings false charges against her and defames her character by saying, I married this woman, but when I had intercourse with her, I did not find evidence that she was a virgin. Keep that point in mind, because we're gonna come back to that. So just keep this in mind. We're gonna go back. Then the girl's father and mother are to take the evidence of the girl's virginity to the leaders of the town at the gate. The girl's father would say to the leaders, I let my daughter marry this man, but he hates her. So he has brought false charges that he didn't find evidence of her virginity. Yet, here is the evidence of my daughter's virginity. And, they will lay the cloth before the town leaders. The leaders of that town are to take the man, punish him. So I ain't gonna lie. So when they say they take that man, punish him, they probably about to beat him up, or he about to get something. He about to get punished for sure. So they take that man, punish him, fine him 2.5 pounds of silver shekels, which they will give to the girl's father, because he has publicly defamed a virgin of Israel. She will remain his wife, and he is forbidden from divorcing her as long as he lives. Okay, but now once we go into this verse, now this is going to give us the other option of the situation. But, here we go, but if the charges is sustained, that evidence for the girl's virginity could not be found, then they are to lead the girl to the door of her father's house, and the men of her town will stone her to death, because she has committed in Israel the disgraceful act of being a prostitute while still in her father's house. In this way, you will put an end to such wickedness among you. Now, again, keep in mind that we are in exile, so we cannot keep all the commandments. But I want you to go back to 13, because we're going to see how this English, they did not put it all the way correctly. Yeah, translated correctly. Okay, so let's go through it again. If a man marries a woman, has sexual relationship with her, and then coming to dislike her. Hold on. Why is he coming to dislike her? We just read in there, he said, because I don't find no evidence of this girl's virginity. So this man is concerned that he has entered a covenant with an unfaithful woman. So let's keep going. So, okay, has sexual relationship with her, and then coming to dislike her, brings false charges against her. That's where the English could have been helped, because when we read it, it's two different situations. So it should say possibly bring false charges against her and defames her character by saying, I married this woman, but when I had intercourse with her, I did not find evidence that she was a virgin. And so he's going through this whole process. Let's just keep reading it again, because it's always good to read. Then the girl's father and mother are to take the evidence of the girl's virginity to the leaders of the town at that gate. The girl's father will say to the leaders, I let my daughter marry this man, but he hates her. He doesn't, okay, let me say this correctly. He probably doesn't hate her, because this whole thing is a test to see if he has entered into a covenant with an unfaithful woman. So he's basically searching out like I want to know, was she really unfaithful or not? Because I'm going to take us to a place up in text where you can see that a man can divorce a woman for any reason. So he doesn't have to go this. If he felt like she was just disloyal from the get-go, he could say, you know what, here's this get. Because I think, or I know you have been disloyal to me. but he didn't. He's going through this process to actually see if he is correct about how he is feeling. So, let's just finish it. It says, the girl's father will say to Lydia, I let this man marry, but he hates her. It's a possibly. So he has brought false charges, possibly brought false charges, that he didn't find evidence of the girl's virginity. Yet, here is the evidence of my daughter's virginity, and they will lay the cloth before the town leader. The leader of that town are to take the man and punish him and fine him 2.5 pounds of silver shekels. That's if he's wrong. And which they will give to the girl's father because he has publicly defamed a virgin of Israel. She will remain his wife, and he is forbidden from divorcing her as long as he lives. Again, I'm hitting to the point. He did not want to divorce her in the first place. Because he can give her, I'm going to show y'all in a minute, he could just divorce her for any reason. But he is going on this quest for this situation in this way to see if he is correct about joining in this covenant with an unfaithful woman. And then it says, and then here it explains it again, the second situation. But if the charges is sustained, that the evidence of the girl's virginity could not be found, then they are to lead the girl to the door of her father's house, and the men of that town will stone her to death because she has committed in Israel the disgraceful act of being a prostitute while still in her father's house. In this way you are put to an end to such wickedness among you. Okay. Now we're about to continue on. Thank you. We're going to continue on. And we're going to go into 22 because 22 is going to go into these situations as well. All right, so let's pay attention. We're going to take this slow so we can get a clear understanding. If a man is found sleeping with a woman who has a husband, both of them must die. The man who went to bed with the woman and the woman too. In this way, you are to expel such wickedness from Israel. Okay, slow it down. So you got a woman that's already married, and she's already married, but now she's having willful intercourse with another man. Most High saying that is a violation, and both of them are to be put to death. Let's carry on. If a girl who is a virgin is engaged to a man, and another man comes upon her in the town and has sexual relationship with her, you are to bring them both out to the gates of the city and stone them both to death. The girl, because she didn't cry out for help there in the city, and the man because he has humiliated his neighbor's wife. In this way, you will put an end to such wickedness among you. So again, this is telling us with the situation again that, let's see, this is on 23. Right. Huh? Huh? Oh, yeah. I got you. Yes. So again, if a girl is a virgin and is engaged to a man, and another man comes upon her, okay, yeah, I read that one. 25. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, 25. But if a man comes upon an engaged girl out in the countryside, and the man grabs her and has sexual relations with her, then only the man who had intercourse with her is to die. You will do nothing to the girl. And he's going to explain why you do nothing to the girl. Because she has done nothing deserving of death. This situation is like the case of the man who attacks his neighbor and kills him. And this is the key part right here. For he found her in the countryside and the engaged girl cried out, but there was no one there to save her. So this situation is different than the situation we read up above, because again, this girl is engaged, just like the situation in verse 23. They're both engaged, but the first one that's engaged, she has willful sex with another man, so they both are to be put to death. This time, she is being forcefully taken advantage of by a man, and she cries out. She's not with this. She's trying to fight it. But no one was there to save her, so she has saved herself, and it is just that man that is to be put to death. Now, let's go to 28. If a man comes upon a girl who is a virgin, but who is not engaged, so this girl's not engaged, and he grabs her and has sexual relationship with her, and they are caught in the act, then the man who had intercourse with her must give to the girl's father 1.25 pounds of silver shekel, and she will become his wife because he humiliated her. He may not divorce her as long as he lives. So this kind of seems like, well, hold on. Like, so he took advantage of her, basically, and hold on, she got to marry him? Well, you got to understand that, for one, we could just say it like this. Certain people got certain things they may like, or whatever, how it may be for them, but different people are different. We can see in this text right here that however this situation came about, whether he did it soft, aggressive, or however he did it, in this situation, the woman did not cry out. Let's read it again. 28. If a man comes upon a girl who is a virgin, but who is not engaged, and he grabs her and he has sexual relationship with her, and they are caught in the act, then the man who had intercourse with her must give to the girl's father 1.25 pounds of silver shekel, and she will become his wife because he humiliated her. He may not divorce her as long as she lives. Again, you see in this situation, she never cried out. So she's basically with it. So you can't get grabbed on, and then in the process, you talking about, yeah, baby, and you with it or whatever. No, that's your husband now. Because you're not trying to fight this off. You are okay with it. So the Most High say, oh, okay, you're okay with that happening to you? Then this is your husband, and you guys are to be together. So I just want to give a clarification on that when we're talking about the intercourse with these women. And I got more right here. So we just went over Exodus 22. We just went over Deuteronomy 22. And again, he says he only wants answers because he could just have given her a divorce document for any reason. So if we go to Deuteronomy 24, 1 through 4, we're going to read the text and we're going to explain that right now. And it says, oh yeah, no worries, it's all good. Yep. And it says, suppose a man marries a woman and consummate the marriage, but later finds her displeasing because he has found her offensive in some respect. He writes her a divorce document, gives it to her, and sends her away from his house. She leaves his house, goes and becomes another man's wife. But the second husband dislikes her and writes her a get, gives it to her, and sends her away from his house. Or the second husband whom she married dies. In such a case, her first husband who sent her away may not take her again as his wife, because she is now defiled. It would be a detestable thing to Yahweh, and you are not to bring about sin in the land Yahweh your Elohim is giving you as your inheritance. So I'm reading this to you because, again, when we go back to Deuteronomy 22, and it's talking about like, oh, he hates her, so he's coming and bringing these false charges against her. No. Why would he marry a woman that he hates, for one? You know what I mean? Why would he do that, for one? And he can give her a divorce document for any reason. So the whole reason on him going through those steps was him to try to see if he actually entered a covenant with an unfaithful woman and what he was thinking was correct. If it was correct, then we know what's supposed to happen to her. And if he was wrong, we know that he probably gonna get beat up, whatever that punish him is that is said in here, and he gonna have to pay some money because now he has humiliated her. I know we're doing a lot of studies in here on the Hebrew. I also, I don't know, I'm very willing to study and look, but it says a man, it says right here, he writes her a divorce document. I don't know, maybe a woman's can too. I don't know. I don't know. So we could talk about this with the brothers if we could see something in scripture that says if she can or she can't. But yeah, we're definitely seeing in here that in the Hebrew community, in our Hebrew family, that guess what? Our women's, y'all have rights and y'all are protected. We're not going to let people just snatch y'all up and just, do whatever they want with you. That's not how we get down. And we got some more places, for example, that we're going to go and show y'all. So if one of these places, we're going to go right here to Bereshit, chapter 34. And this is going to go in the situation where it has to do with Yaakov and his daughter. And we're going to start at verse 1 for this. It says, okay, one time Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she had bore to Yaakov, went out to visit the local girls. And Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivi, the local ruler, saw her. Who did he see? He saw Yaakov's daughter. He saw her, grabbed her, raped her, and humiliated her. But accordingly, he was strongly attracted to Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov. He fell in love with the girl and tried to win her affection. Shechem spoke with his father, Hamor, and said, "Get this girl for me. I want her to be my wife." When Yaakov heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter, his sons were with the livestock in the field. So Yaakov restrained himself until they came. Okay, now, if rape is okay and he's Hebrew compliant, why would Yaakov be upset? Obviously, that's something that's not right and that we don't do. Unless, we read in there, unless she's okay with it, because there's some women out there like it. I don't know, but we're going to keep going. So Hamor the father, he spoke with him just as Yaakov's sons were coming into the field. When they heard what had happened, the men were saddened and were very angry at the outrage this man had committed against Israel by raping Yaakov's daughter. Then it even continues, it says, something that is simply not done. Again, I'm bringing up text to help support, I'm bringing up text to support text, because that's what we do, that they are not okay, and we are not okay with just taking advantage of our women and just raping them. That's just crazy. And when we go through scripture, we can see that that is not a behavior that is favorable at all with our people. And when you finish this chapter, because I advise everybody to read the pretext and aftertext, you can see what happened to these men from what they did to Yaakov's daughter, and it doesn't end up good for them. Not at all. Also, when you look at the situation with David and his son raping his sister, we already know that's a Torah violation. So we know that's not correct. That's nothing Yah wanted us to do. The situation with the Benjamite men when they wanted that man to come out because they wanted to have sex with that man. We know that's not okay neither, you know what I mean? So I highly wanted to do some clarifications on protecting our women, because it has come to my attention that some of the women in this way have been told by different people that, you know, we can just basically do what we want to them. And no, I have seen nothing like that in text. And I want to bring that up with text today to show that our women are protected in our Hebrew culture. Okay, then we got another place that I want y'all to go to me. We're going to go to Judges chapter 21, and we're going to do some reading in Judges chapter 21. Okay, Judges chapter 21. It says, let me go bring my book, because I like looking at my book too. All right, it says, the men of Israel have sworn in Mizpah that none of them would let his daughter marry a man from Benjamin. Okay, let me give you a little pretext right now. So we have, in this situation, jumping into this, we have a civil war going on with the tribe of Benjamin and the rest of the tribes of Israel. So the rest of Israel is fighting Benjamin. Now, y'all go back and read the text. Benjamin by itself was kicking butt for a minute. Like, they went to war like twice with each other, and Benjamin, he came out ahead. But during, I believe, the last battle they had, it did not go well for them. And now the Benjamin tribe does not have a lot of high numbers. So just keep that in mind as we are reading and going into this text. So the men of Israel sworn in Mizpah that none of them would let his daughter marry a man of Benjamin. See, they're fighting. These are your brothers. The people came to Bethel and stayed there before Yah till evening, crying out and weeping. They said, Yah, why has this come about in Israel? Why should there be today in Israel one tribe missing? The next day, the people got up early, built an altar, and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. The people of Israel asked, who among the tribes of Israel didn't come to the assembly before Yah? For they had made a great oath to put to death whomever didn't come up to Yah at Mizpah. The people of Israel became sorry for Benjamin their brother and said, today one tribe has been cut off from Israel. How are we going, one cut off from Israel, how are we going to obtain wives for these who remain alive, since we've sworn by Yah that we won't let our daughters marry them? Okay, I could keep stop, but I'm going to keep going. Then they asked from the tribes of Israel, had not gone up to Yah at Mizpah, and found that none had come from Yahwehs Exiled to the camp where the assembly was. Since when the people were counted, none of the inhabitants of Yahwehs Exiled were found there. So the gathering sent 12,000 warriors there and ordered them, go and put the people who live in Yahwehs Exiled to death with the sword, including women and children. Completely destroy every man and every woman who has sex with a man. Among the inhabitants of Yahwehs Gilead, they found 400 young virgins who had not known a man by lying with him, and they brought them to the camp of Shiloh, which is the land of Canaan. Then the whole gathering sent a message proclaiming peace to the people of Benjamin, who were at the rock of Rimmon. So Benjamin returned at that time, and the people of Israel gave them the woman they had kept alive of the women from Yahwehs Gilead. But those weren't enough for them. The people were still sorry for Benjamin because Yahweh had made a division among the tribes of Israel. This is the war with Benjamin that was going on with Israel before. The leaders of the assembly asked, "What are we to do for those who still don't have wife? Inasmuch as all the women of Benjamin have been killed," they said, "there has to be a way to help the survivors preserve Benjamin's inheritance so that a tribe would not be eliminated from Israel. Yet we can't give them our daughters as wives, for the people of Israel has sworn, 'Cursed be whoever gives a wife to Benjamin.'" Then they said, "Look, each year there's a festival in honor of Yah and Shiloh, north of Beth-el, on the east side of the road that goes up from Beth-el to Shechem, and south of Levonah. They ordered the men of Benjamin, 'Go hide in the vineyards and keep watch. If the girls of Shiloh come out to do their dances, then come out of the vineyards, and each of you catch for himself a wife from Shiloh's girls, and go on to the land of Benjamin.' When the fathers and brothers came to complain to us, we will say to them, 'Give them as a personal favor to us, because we didn't take wives for each of them in battle. You didn't give them to them. That would have made you guilty of breaking your oath.' So the men of Benjamin did this. They took wives from themselves from the girls who were dancing, as many as they needed. They carried them off, went back to the land of their inheritance, rebuilt their cities, and lived in them. The people of Israel then left that place. Each man returned to his tribe and family, and each man went out from there to the land he had inherited." And then this last part gives us a little something too. It says, at that time, there was no king in Israel. A man simply did whatever he thought was right. So I have noticed they didn't offer women from the other nations, only women who worship Yahweh. And there was no complaints that we can see from text from the women or their family on how the women were treated badly. And it says if they just stuck with Torah and had not sworn not to give their daughters to Benjamin, then guess what? We wouldn't have had this problem. So this is another good example of just stick to Torah, and also be very careful and mindful when you are making oaths, because now they made an oath and now they're trying to figure out how to go around it. So keep that in mind. All right, y'all. About wrapping it up for today. Wanted to make sure that we had this understanding of in Zachariah to not be like our rebellious ancestors, and also want to go with us over these women's rights. But right here, I have a pop quiz for us that says, what prophet was prophesying and someone past died as he was prophesying? Who do I got for Joel? Anybody? Joel? Daniel, anybody? Daniel? Who, did I see a wave? Oh, it's a bug? Okay. All right, my What about Ezekiel? Y'all think Ezekiel? Okay, we got it. 1 Ezekiel, 2 Ezekiel, 3 Ezekiel. Okay. What about, is it later on in Zachariah? Who says Zachariah? Got one for Zachariah? We got some people that are like, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna see what the answer gonna be. Okay. Ezekiel? Okay, let's see. Bam! Ezekiel. Yeah, let's pull it up, y'all. Let's pull it up. Ezekiel chapter 11. And let's see what we're going to read up in here. All righty. Let's see. Ezekiel chapter 11. Okay, let's get it. Ezekiel 11. Mm-hmm. Oh, yep, you're there. Yeah, verse 1. Yep, verse 1. Okay, yep. It says, Then a spirit lifted me up, brought me to the east gate of Yahweh's house, the gate that faces eastward. At the entrance of the gate, I saw 25 men. Among them was Azaniah, the son of Azur, and Pelatyahu, the son of Benaiahu, leaders of the people. He said to me, human being, these are the men who make evil plans and give wicked advice in this city. They say the time hasn't come to build houses. This city is the cooking pot and where the meat. Therefore, prophesy against them, human being, prophesy. The Spirit of Yahweh fell on me and said to me, say, here's what Yahweh says. What you are saying is correct, house of Israel, because I know how your mind works. I don't know why, I love when he said that. Because you know our people, boy, they be something else sometimes. You have killed many in this city, and you have filled its streets with the dead. Therefore, Yahweh Elohim says this, those you have killed and strewn all over it, they are the meat. And this city is indeed the cooking pot, but you will be removed from it. You are afraid of the sword, but I will bring the sword upon you, says Yahweh Elohim. I will bring you out of it, hand you over to foreigners, and execute judgments among you. You will die by the sword. I will judge you at the borders of Israel, and you will know that I am Yah. This city will not be your cooking pot, but you will be the meat in it. I will judge you. Yes. I will judge you at Israel's frontier, and you will know that I am Yahweh. For you have not lived by my laws or obeyed my rulings, but have acted according to the rules of the nations surrounding you. And this is just a key part of our people that are in this exile, and we're trying to look for solutions. Look what it says right there. It says, for you have not been living by my laws or obeying my rulings, but have acted according to the rulings of the nations surrounding you. And that is the problem that we are still dealing with today. Right. As I was prophesying, Pelatyahu, the son of Benaiah, died. I fell on my face and cried out, O Yahweh Elohim, are you going to destroy completely those of Israel who are left? Then the word of Yahweh came to me, human being, it is to your kinsmen, your brothers, your relatives, in the whole house of Israel, that the people living in Jerusalem have said, get away from Yahweh. This land has been given to us to possess. Therefore, say that Yahweh Elohim says this, true, I removed them far away among the nations and scattered them among the countries. Nevertheless, I have been a little sanctuary for them in the countries to which they have gone. Therefore, says that Yahweh Elohim says, I will gather you from the peoples and collect you from the countries where you have been scattered. And I will give the land of Israel to you. Then they will go there and remove all the loathsome things and disgusting practices. And I will give them unity of heart. And I will put a new spirit among you. And I will remove from their bodies the hearts of stone and give them hearts of flesh, so that they will live by my regulations, obey my rulings, and act by them. So I just kept reading because, Scripture gets so good. I just had to keep reading. But y'all get the point right there. That's what happened while Ezekiel was prophesying. I guess that word hit something different. Because that boy, his wicked self heard that word and he dropped and was no longer. Okay. I want to thank y'all for hearing the presentation today. This is my YouTube channel, Yahwehs Exiled 11. This is my latest video. I just posted up 144. Did y'all say it? So check that video out, y'all. And I hope y'all like it. If y'all got any questions and concerns, hit us in the comments. And I hope I went slow enough to go over the commandments and the mitzvot to show you women that are trying to come in this Hebrew way that guess what? You are protected and you are loved and you are in good hands. Like my Moray just did in his teaching before, where it talks about using science and logic, right? The Most High is not about chaos. Remember what happened when the earth was in chaos. The Most High put things and made it to get out of chaos. So we don't operate in chaos. So I hope I gave y'all some clarity on that. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to hit us up. We will answer your questions as best as we can based upon text and what the Most High says. Thank you for your time. Shabbat Shalom, family. And yes, women's rights are also human rights. Okay. Let me bless us before we come out of here. Yevarekaka, Yahweh, Vayishaer Yareka, Yair Yahweh, Paneka, Aleka, Vaynuka, Yasa Yahweh, Pana, Aleka, Vayasham, Laka, Shalom. Which reads, may Yahweh bless you and keep you. May Yahweh make his face to shine on you and show you his favor. May Yahweh lift up his face towards you and give you shalom. I want to thank you, my people. I hope y'all have a good Shabbat Shalom, and I hope you guys took something from today's lesson. Thank you.